How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on one of the most anticipated game releases of the year. Really, it's been one of the most anticipated games for a few years now. Has seen quite the tumultuous and understandable development cycle, and of course I'm talking about Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. As we are just a few days away from the game's official release, I want to go over some of the key information that you should know about the game before you pick it up. We'll highlight the system requirements, we'll go over every single edition and what it entails, and we'll go over some of the general description and information that is on the official page. So, right off the bat, the game is priced at $59.99 for the standard edition. There is a deluxe edition and an ultimate edition. I want to give a plug to our friends at Green Man Gaming who have got the game discounted 15% off. All you have to do is use the code NOV15, that's NOV15. You'll save 15% on any edition that you pick up. The standard edition would be $51. The deluxe edition and ultimate edition, respectively, would be cheaper. You don't pay tax either. You get a Steam key for the game, so it'll redeem directly on there. We will leave a link to that in the description box below. Get one of the most anticipated games of the year a little bit cheaper. Why not? I should also mention that the game is available on Xbox Game Pass. That is on PC as well as on Xbox consoles. PC Game Pass is fairly cheap, but then you are essentially renting the game, and you would have to keep a perpetual subscription. Do keep in mind as well that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 just got added to the service, and Indiana Jones is getting added to the service next month, so quite a lot of value out of Game Pass, all things considered, if you do want to keep a subscription. Nevertheless, a lot of you guys are going to want to own this game, and I will leave the link to GMG in the description box below. So, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Discover the vast Chernobyl exclusion zone full of dangerous enemies, deadly anomalies, and powerful artifacts. Unveil your own epic story as you make your way to the heart of Chernobyl. Make your choices wisely, as they will determine your fate in the end. Some of the key notes that they highlight: discover the legendary Stalker universe and experience. Unique gameplay built on a blend of FPS, horror, and immersive sim. And if you've played Stalker in the past, you know that immersion is one of the strongest elements of the game. And that is because this atmosphere is crafted so well. And I'm talking about the existing Stalker games. Stalker 2 is ramping that up to another level, and expect something even more immersive than before. Expect something engaging and gripping from start to finish. And it is a non-linear story with a variety of paths that lead to one of the several endings. So start to finish is going to play out in a variety of different ways depending on how you play the game. Benchmark setting graphics developed using cutting-edge photogrammetry and scanning technologies. We'll talk about the visuals, the system requirements in a little bit, because they have been a bit of a cause for concern for a lot of people. Advanced artificial intelligence systems that will keep engaged even the most hard-boiled players. Immersive survival mechanics like hunger, sleeping, bleeding, radiation effects that enrich the gameplay. This is a core element of Stalker 2, and these mechanics like hunger and sleeping add another layer to the game and add a level of immersion that you wouldn't otherwise find. Some people might find them a little bit daunting and might be too many things to keep track of. I assure you that going into the game, you'll probably be fine. Dynamic day and night cycle and weather will add even more realism to the gameplay experience. Mod support gives the freedom to the creative Stalker to extend and enrich the game universe. And while the majority of you are going into this game with the aspect of the single-player engaging campaign, the immersive campaign, a multiplayer component will be added after release as a free update on top of that. So a lot of excitement to be had even post-release as well. Chernobyl Exclusion Zone has changed dramatically after the second massive explosion in the year 2006. The world is now filled with violent mutants, deadly anomalies, and warring factions that have made the zone a very tough place to survive. Nevertheless, artifacts of unbelievable value attract many people called stalkers who enter the zone for their own risk, striving to make a fortune out of it or even find the truth concealed in the heart of Chernobyl. It's an epic non-linear story in a seamless open world, and getting lost and absorbed and engrossed into this open world is going to be one of the core components of the game. Take over a role of the lone stalker and explore a photorealistic, seamless open world in a 64-kilometer squared radioactive zone with a variety of environments that reveal post-apocalyptic atmosphere from different angles. Make your way through the zone to define your destiny as you choose your paths within a highly branching epic story. a variety of enemies and hundreds of weapon combinations, and how you decide to tackle the enemies, which weapons you utilize in different scenarios is going to be one of the key integral components of the game. You'll meet different members of different factions, deciding who of them are worth your friendship and who deserve a bullet. Engage in intense gunfights with a variety of enemies that follow different tactics trying to outsmart you. Choose your preferable firearms from 30 plus types of weapons with numerous modifications that allow creating hundreds of distinctive lethal combinations, and depending on what you utilize, some combinations are going to be effective in certain scenarios and others are going to be effective in other scenarios. And remember that you do have a finite amount of space on what you can carry with you at any time, so you'll have to be a little bit picky and choosy as far as what you take out with you. Legendary mutants with different behavior models as well. Prepare to encounter horrifying mutated creatures that'll try to slaughter you following different behavior models. Each mutant may appear in different subtypes, which make their behavior less predictable. A truly extreme danger represents regions with layers with numerous mutants hunting in large groups. Artifacts of incredible value and unforgiving anomalies as well. The most valuable artifacts and secrets of the zone are hidden in the most dangerous places. Beware of the hazardous anomalies and unique devastating arch anomalies as you hunt for highly valuable artifacts scattered around the zone. Will you dare to unveil the mysteries of the zone that took the lives of many others before you? That is all from the official page. There's a lot of in-depth notes on this game in terms of this world, and what it really looks like to me is they're trying to create an open world that is incredibly immersive with all of the mechanics in the game that we just talked about, but also a living world that has elements that'll keep you engaged into all of the smaller things happening in the open world as well. And there's going to be a wide variety of content for you to delve into. The main story content with diverging pathways, artifacts, treasures that are worth the risk, various areas to explore, weapons and items to gather. It is going to be a lot to sink your teeth into. And speaking of a lot, depending on what edition you get of the game, you'll get a variety of different stuff. So let's highlight every edition because you guys might be curious on this. The standard edition is what is baked into Game Pass. Pre-order now and you'll get the exclusive bonuses. This is included with every edition. Extended campfire content, more guitar tunes and tales that you can hear in the game around the Stalker's campfires, early bird weapon skin, early bird costume skin, early bird multiplayer badge, which again, multiplayer will come via a free update down the line, and a Steam Pack animated avatar frame, and animated profile background. Now, the deluxe edition is priced at $80. Once again, 15% off, no tax at Green Man Gaming. No 15 is the code, link in the description box below. You'll get all of the aforementioned pre-order content, and you'll get the deluxe edition content, which includes an additional story-based side quest, single player, 1 costume skin, and 3 weapon skins. You'll get 2 costume skins and 3 weapon skins for multiplayer, the digital art book, and digital soundtrack. And then there is an ultimate edition for $110. That'll include all of the aforementioned content. However, you will also get the season pass with access to all future DLC. So this is not included in the deluxe edition. I think a lot of people might pick up the deluxe edition and think they're getting the season pass with all of the future story content. That is not the case. All future DLCs, that includes the 2 story expansions. So you have to buy the Ultimate Edition if you want the 2 extra story expansions as well. That'll be happening sometime down the line. On top of that, you'll get the additional story-based side quests, which that's what's included in the Deluxe Edition. Single player, the 1 costume skin and 3 weapon skins. Multiplayer, 2 costume skins and 3 weapon skins. Digital art book and digital soundtrack. The Season Pass is on top of the Deluxe Edition, and that'll be an extra $30. Again, 15% off at Green Man Gaming if you buy the Ultimate Edition with the code NO15. Link in the description box below. So those are the various editions. I imagine a lot of people will gravitate towards the Ultimate Edition, given that you do get the Season Pass content, so keep that in mind. Lastly, this is going to be a behemoth of a game on Unreal Engine 5. It is going to be a difficult game to run, especially if you are playing it at a higher resolution and want to get 60 frames per second and want to play it at high settings. There are 4 tiers of system requirements. If you're okay with playing at low settings at 1080p and getting 30 frames per second, you're not going to have too big of a problem because that is requiring an Intel Core i7 7700K, a Ryzen 5 1600X, a GTX 1060, or an RX 580. 16 gigs of RAM is also noted. These days, the standard is 16 gigs. A 1060 and 580 are years old at this point. If you've built a PC in recent memory or even a while ago, your GPU should be well above a 1060 or a 580 at this stage of the game. A 580, legitimately, you can buy a secondhand RX 580 for like $50. Like, that's how cheap that graphics card is. The medium tier is probably what a lot of people are going to gravitate towards. That's 1080p at 60 FPS. That is at the medium graphics preset, an i7 9700K, a Ryzen 7 3700X, an RTX 2070 Super or an RTX 4060, or a Radeon RX 5700 XT. Once again, 16 gigs of memory. So a 2070 Super was actually what was noted as the recommended requirement for a while. They did adjust that, and the recommended requirements are actually well above a 2070. But if you have a 2070 Super, you can play the game at 1080p, which 1080p, I always see the stat being thrown around. Oh, that's the resolution that most people use on Steam. Well, that's not a real fair stat, given that the overall amount of people on Steam versus the amount of people interested in Stalker 2, those are two separate audiences. I think a significant audience of Stalker 2 wants to play this game at 1440p or even 4K, so, you know, my 2 cents on that. But if you do want to play the game at 1080p, medium settings. High, which is recommended. This is on the high graphics preset, 1440p at 60 frames per second. That is not maxed out. That is high. We'll get to the latter one. 1440p, 60 frames per second. Intel Core i7 11700, Ryzen 7 5800X, an RTX 3070 Ti or an RTX 4070, the AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT, and 32 gigabytes of memory. I think that's an area where some people are gonna, you know, fumble on as far as having 32 gigs of RAM. So there you go with that. And then for you ballers out there, 4K 60 plus frames per second at the epic graphics preset. You're looking at an Intel Core i7 13700KF, AMD Ryzen 7 7700X, RTX 4080 or RX 7900 XTX, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and then I should also note, for all of the versions of the game, it does note SSD 160 gigabytes. The preload is live, and it's around 150 gig to install. With future updates, DLC, and everything like that, it'll probably hit that 160 gig. So it is a difficult game to run, especially at the higher settings, and bear in mind, it was clarified that these settings and requirements are utilizing upscaling technology, DLSS, FSR, so on and so forth. We'll see how the game ultimately runs. It is one area I am a little bit skeptical on. It's on Unreal Engine 5, which has produced some games that have been a little bit underwhelming from a performance standpoint, but we'll see how it turns out. I think the game is going to be fantastic. And it's out November 20th. Remember, Green Man Gaming's got it cheaper, but it'll also be available on Xbox Game Pass. We ran down all the editions. If you do want all of the future content, you have to pick up the Ultimate Edition. Keep that in mind, and that does include 2 story-based expansions, so incredibly important there. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Only 3 more days until the release of Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.